Welcome
boy.
back, Red Spotters, actually in the Red Spotlight Podcast. I'm your host today, Alexis Soto, joined by Mr. Peter Martinez, and for the first time in forever, Mr. Kyle Lira has descended from on high to mingle with the commoners. How are you doing, Mr. Lira?
I'm okay. Tired, but okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. I won't even bother asking Peter, I'm sure.
It would be futile.
Okay, here's his response. Are you ready? He's alive.
Okay. Well, this is episode number 268. I am so honestly kind of excited. I don't recall the last time the three of us have just done a show like this, and I can't wait to see what happens. We got a lot to discuss today. We have a lot of trailers for you. We've got The Mandalorian Season 2, WandaVision, James Bond, No Time to Die, Dune, which is someone here is very excited for that film. We also have news.
Tootsie.
That's right. We have news on She-Hulk, as well as Wonder Woman and Mulan's performance on Disney+. So all that and more on today's show. So something pretty dramatic happened over the weekend, and as we usually do on this show, we want to acknowledge it, especially since this was a real-life superhero in every sense of the word. I know that the word hero is overused and is especially used by, a group of people who don't really intend on helping economic situations. But that being said, this woman was a force of nature. By the way, if you haven't seen the documentary feature RBG, it's on Hulu. So if you have that, and I believe also CNN was streaming it or airing it over the weekend.
I thought you were talking about J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, she did die. Although she died a long time ago.
Only in our hearts.
I am, of course, referring to Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who passed away over the weekend at the age of 87 years. Unfortunately, losing her battle with pancreatic cancer. Just to say, first and foremost, this person, a lot of similarities, Peter, when we discussed about the passing of Chadwick Boseman. She's very much a champion for human rights and civil rights and women's rights. And she literally spent all of her life doing as much as she could to further all of those issues and to I would say, certain degree of success. And her death is beyond gutting, not just on, on a pure, human and person to person level, but her death literally is monumental with the future of the country. And I'm not sure that's happened before with any other Supreme Court justice.
It's pretty telling how awesome your democracy is when the death of a lifetime appointment can just completely shatter your entire institutions for the foreseeable future. Good job, Founding Fathers. RB, I thought you were going to say it was similar to Chadwick Boseman and that it came out of nowhere. It didn't. Obviously, she's been fighting for a very long time. She did live a long life. 87. Not many people get to say that number. We probably won't. So yeah, she did do a lot of amazing things, especially in the advancement of women's rights. That was when you talk about specific I don't know what do you call it? Specific fights that she wanted to take on throughout her political career. The advancement of women in this country was very much her main goal.
Like women being able to take out a mortgage by themselves, the just owning a credit card as a woman. or a debit card or having a bank account for themselves.
Actually, I think they're still not allowed to have bank accounts.
Oh my God. Don't.
Just like stuff like that, minute little things like that is made possible because of her. And I think that's pretty rad, just doing that, just the little simple fights that she would do, but it meant so much and left a big mark and a big dent onto what women are able to do in this country. And I think that is very liberating. And I think that is a huge, I think that leaves a big dent in what, you're able to do, not just politically, but like humanitarianly, if that's a word.
Fuck it. Dr. Seuss made up words all the time.
And
you
he's
said,
great.
yeah, you said something earlier about like little fights here and there. They weren't little though. Like they may seem little, like being able to do this or being able to do that, or this little thing here, that little thing there. But like being able as a woman to control your own finances and be able to support yourself and that kind of stuff, like that's everything.
Yeah.
It really is.
Okay. What I mean, to clarify, it's like it sounds little trivial, little
it
things.
sounds small, but it's
but it's actually really big. But
the
it's
ramifications are pretty big.
But that's the thing, though. Just because of little trivial things like that sounds small, meant like impactfully so much to a lot of people. I think that's extraordinary all in itself.
It's so inspiring. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just for those feats alone, I think is.
I agree. No, it's so inspiring to me anyway, just to see anyone at that age, to the very end, to the bitter end, if you might even say, in terms of that horrific, illness she had that has unfortunately killed far too many and continues to.
Cancer sucks.
It really fucking does. And look, to be 87 years old and to be a Supreme Court justice, like to me, like that I feel is literally putting a lot more work than any senator or congressman ever does. And she was committed and passionate about her work. She would write her own dissenting opinions or majority opinions whenever that she'd be on there. The case, like she was a scholar. She was a brilliant mind and a fighter to the very end. And I think like it just makes me inspired to feel as if like we have it within us, to keep moving forward and to keep pushing on up until our lives are over. We don't have to just sit aside and retire. We can keep on going. And the fact that she felt so motivated to not retire, that she gave her all to literally survive as long as she could. I believe she's even gone on the record saying so, that I'm gonna live as long as I can, because she was fucking scared of Trump.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was not fair to rest that much. She should have
had the choice to retire.
Yeah, she should have had her retirement. Yeah, which again, much thanks to what Peter said previously. Thank you, government, for being that fucked up that somebody who actually gave a shit couldn't get out of it.
And I think that's part of part of why she is so fucking awesome is that unlike most of the people in that town, she actually came across like she gave a shit. Because her whole life has been her proof. Her whole life has been that record. She's lived it. And unlike a lot of the people in that town, she has made those differences. When she was in law school, she had to defend why she was taking the place of a man. Is, the kind of times that were norm at that point. And I will say, I was very, I was kind of punched in the gut when I saw that Peter had shared in our chat, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead. I was literally I was getting out of an office someplace, and I was getting in my car, and the first thing I read is that, and it felt like a bomb went off, because it just made me so incredibly sad for her, and it made me just sad for what the fuck is the future of this country going to look like. We're talking like the ramifications of her passing will be felt for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, that's the part I don't think about.
It just gets me so scared because, of course, there is also an election coming up. I'm not going to dwell on it. I will say as though there are, I feel, the potential for disaster and catastrophe, I think, has never been more obvious. Potential, I will say. But, yeah.
I will. I don't want to get into politics. I really don't. I really don't.
Because it's depressing. First and foremost. Yeah.
I will say, I've always been a huge fan of history. Yeah, I love watching movies about history, and I love, I always loved learning about history in class and outside of class, History Channel, all that shit. And I always, wonder, like, wow, what must it be like to live through history? That sort of, that sort of non-meaning, it doesn't really mean anything, that phrase, but I think we all sort of genuinely understand what I mean when I say live through history. Technically, we're all living through history at all times, but I think it's pretty clear what I mean when live through history means.
See all these events throughout the whole entire century take place, and...
I guess my point is I don't think about that anymore.
No, I knew you were going to go in that direction, and I agree with you.
And it's not something it's not a wish that I care. It was a monkey's paw's wish. That's what it was. Yeah. So that's all I have to say with fucking politics. Anyway, movies. Aren't movies great?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into what we saw this week. Mr. Martinez, if you'd like to go first and inform us of the wonderful media you've consumed in the last week.
Media. Hold on, let me bring up my list. I like lists. They're so orderly.
That is... First of all, it was funny, but that's a complete reversal from a few years ago.
No. There's a difference. Ranking. I didn't like ranking. There's a difference between lists and ranking.
Remember the quote you said was, "I hate lists."
Well, you don't have it on tape. So
I'm pretty sure there is a video of you saying it.
Peter, get on with your list.
Well, this technically isn't a film or television or anything, but it's the thing I've been doing a lot lately. Is I've been playing a lot of Batman Arkham games because I can. I've been replaying Arkham City and Arkham Origins, and they're very good games. I really, really enjoy them.
I haven't played Origins. How is it?
It's kind of considered the black sheep, obviously, of the whole series. Because it's it takes a lot of assets from City. Because it wasn't made by Rocksteady. It was made by WB Montreal, and it was for that year. It came out a year after City came out, and it was meant to be something to kind of tide you over until Arkham Knight came out, the big finale. But I really enjoy it, and I really like the story, and it story wise, it might be one of, if not my favorite, from all the games. And there's a couple interesting things that they throw in that I think are really cool. Like Bane. I think they do Bane better than anyone in that game. It's so good. But yeah, the Arkham games, like the gameplay and the stories, I really love them. Mm-hmm. And I know when I really love a video game, when I just play it over and over and over and over. Like there's several games that I know are my favorite because I just continuously replay them because it's just so fun, the atmosphere, the story, whatever. You know, I just really enjoy. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of the Arkham games, and I'm digging it, which is cool because they just announced a couple new games, Arkham Knights, where you play as Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and the Red Hood.
Ooh, okay.
Defending Gotham after Batman's untimely death, and then the Suicide Squad game. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
I saw the preview to that, and that looked really fun.
Yeah, it looks real fun.
I haven't played. Okay, I played Asylum, and Asylum was fucking awesome. Like it's
the OG.
Yeah, and then City, where it just gets a little bit bigger, and it really set the template for superhero games going forward after that. And I really liked all that stuff. I particularly love how freaking frustrating the Mr. Freeze's lair is.
Oh god.
Yeah, just how you have to hook on to like a freaking iceberg, and you have to like use your grappling gun and just get to different places, and you'd fall and all that stuff, and it'd just be like utterly maddening. But it was good madness though. Yeah.
Kyle,
I feel that way. Like to play over and over again with Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know if you played it.
No, I haven't.
Oh, have you heard of it?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. But oh my god, like the story, like you think like, oh, it's Rockstar, the Grand Theft Auto guys, like how deep and all that stuff. Like, dude, there are some story beats that make you freaking sob and cry and all that stuff. Like it's emotionally resonant, and like it makes me not want to stop because like there's a certain character that meets untimely demise, and then you're just like, don't want to face it again, but the game is so good that you want to endure that pain anyway.
No, that's cool. Yeah,
I wanted to ask Kyle real quick because he hasn't had the opportunity to talk about this, but I'm very curious, Kyle, if you wanted to talk about real quick the Batman trailer that came out a few weeks back.
Batman trailer.
He had said that he didn't really like it, so
Yes, Peter, I absolutely hated it. I mean, the duct tape, and all that stuff. No, I really loved it. Like, I was super excited and super thrilled when I saw that trailer. Because like this is the kind of Batman movie I've been wanting for a while, and I looked like I was gonna get slivers of it somewhere down the line when it was announced that Ben Affleck was gonna be Batman and all that stuff, and I was like, ooh, okay, let's see where this goes. Maybe it'll go and take that turn where I want it to. It did not. So I was kind of bummed out in that notion, but then, oh my god, this like, first of all, Robert Pattinson fucking, like, it was just like 2 minutes and I felt it. You hit me in my sweet spot when you play that Nirvana too.
Of course,
that's how you know it's edgy.
Yeah, but like Paul Dano looks freaking like creepy as hell as Riddler. Yeah.
What did you think about Kristen Stewart as Catwoman?
Oh my god.
You mean Zoe Kravitz?
Kristen Stewart. I thought it was inspired casting.
I'm not touching that. But yeah, the whole freaking like vibe feeling of the movie and all that stuff. Jeffrey Wright looks fucking great as Commissioner Gordon.
I feel like he's kind of underrated. Like, I love him everywhere he pops up. But like, I don't know. I feel like he's not known as much. Yeah.
He's the best Felix Leiter. There's the first Bond reference of the night.
It won't be the last.
Definitely won't be the last. But yeah, I fucking digged it. I can't wait to see it. Matt Reeves is gonna fuck me up good when I go see the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was mentioned, but everything that Matt Reeves said at that fandom thing about like what he wants to do with this movie is awesome. I love it. And before you move on to the next thing, Peter, on your list, I do want to update that Harley Quinn, the animated series, did get renewed for season 3 and will be moving to HBO Max. You are a fan of that show. How happy does that news make you? Especially since other shows, let's say of a Netflix variety, were canceled recently.
I'm really happy because it's a good show. I really enjoy it. I think it's really funny and sincere, and I assumed this would happen the second HBO Max was announced. I don't know why they dragged their feet for this, but shit usually doesn't end well for TV shows, so I'm glad.
Have you seen the show yet, Kyle?
The Harley Quinn show?
Yeah.
No, I've not.
You'd love it.
I'm pretty sure Kyle would love it. I hear nothing but amazing things about Harley Quinn.
What's that supposed to say, huh?
You love Gotham, but I mean, you love the character.
Oh, here's a great show. I think you'd like a great show. You're talking shit because you said I'd like a great show. Yeah, I'm talking shit.
Anyway, you may continue, Peter.
Okay. Piece of shit.
Jesus.
And
also, rest in peace, Dark Crystal.
Yeah. Motherfucker. Which Alexis
it won an Emmy.
Bad.
It won an Emmy, ironically, the weekend,
The kiss of death. I just felt like watching it, so I watched it. It was on Hulu. Jim Carrey's The Mask. You guys, Kyle, you've seen The Mask.
Somebody stop me.
Wow.
Smoke it. Alexis, you've seen The Mask, right?
Yeah. It was on Cartoon Network. I seen it, yeah.
It was on Cartoon Network, so obviously I saw it.
Timmy won't make it for Christmas. I love that. Goddamn, like, if there was ever like perfect casting, him as Stanley Ipkiss is just gorgeous casting because you needed a fucking cartoon to play him, and you got a living, breathing cartoon to play him.
I don't remember if I had it on my childhood movies, but I should have, because it was definitely a big one. The VHS wore that shit out. No, I've always loved The Mask. And I don't know, as I was watching it, I kind of had this idea, because I feel like people don't talk about this that much, but I feel like some of the best sequels are spiritual sequels, which are films that literally have nothing to do with another film, but they captured just the same kind of energy that this other film did. And usually lightning in a bottle films have that. So like, everyone's talking about Ghostbusters. They want more Ghostbusters. You need a sequel to Ghostbusters. And I feel like you kind of already did. It was called Men in Black. Like, to me, Men in Black was the spiritual, because it hit the same beats, all the beats that you would want from a Ghostbusters movie, but kept it fresh and all that. And just looking at The Mask, it kind of felt in some ways to a spiritual successor to like Beetlejuice, where it's just this weird and zany cartoon world that everyone within the movie just buys into, and it's all tied together by a comedic actor just fucking losing it. Yeah, and it's great. you know, is fantastic. Like letting your freak flag fly.
You know, that might actually be a good idea for another segment series on the show about, you know, films that, as Kyle would say, share kind of a kindred spirit.
Oh, okay.
A kindred spirit, kind of like they're very much in the same vein. I know one of the examples that I think fits that way,
like Passion of the Christ and Cannibal Holocaust.
I wasn't gonna. No, I wasn't. No, I meant.
I'm kidding, and I'm telling a joke.
To all our Christian viewers, I want to let you know we will be removing him from the show.
We have no Christian viewers,
and we will send him back to that Satanist Disney show where he came from. Okay. What were you saying?
What I was going to say, the two films I feel have a very strong, have a kind of the same soul in a way. And Spielberg said it himself: Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Denis Villeneuve's Arrival.
Yeah, I would say that as well. It's
which, by the way, are two of my favorite films of all time, and of course they feature aliens.
You have such a weird thing for aliens. Is that why you saw The Mask? You saw a preview in a guy with a green face, and you're like, "Oh, aliens!"
No,
and then you're like, "Oh, it's just a mask." Oh, it's on Cartoon Network. I guess I'll watch it.
Maybe it was such a long time ago. I'm pretty sure. Like, my only memory of The Mask is like it was one of those things where you flip the channels and you just watch what's on.
Yeah,
Men in Black must have been Disneyland for him.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you know, Men in Black. Not really. No, I don't really have anything. An emotional attachment to Men in Black.
Not the right kind of aliens, huh?
Did you watch the X-Files growing up, Alexis? Oh my god.
X-Files? No, I didn't actually. No, I missed that.
I think X-Files was way too creepy. X-Files was that show. Like, just the intro would scare the fuck out of me, and I would change it.
It's a very eerie intro.
The music,
yeah.
Oh god. And I had a childhood fear of aliens because of fucking Signs. So I couldn't. Oh no, I couldn't handle it. It's like, you know, it's like I don't want to believe, you know. I don't want to even think about it. I was the
opposite of that. I desperately wanted to believe. I was like, there was a phase I think around that time where I was like,
he wore alien shirts and everything like that.
You know, on History Channel they would have like UFO sighting specials or whatever. I'd watch all those. At some point, I don't know why, Ancient Aliens, which is like complete garbage and trash, but it was like, what if? You know, it's just, you know, bullshit like that.
Apparently you see the Chrysler building? Strange shape for a building.
I even read
aliens,
books, perhaps? I think. You know, when we had to read AR books, I even read books on UFO, on abductions, on supposed abductions. I was really into that crap, you know.
Alexis.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Uh-huh.
Were you probed?
No.
You know what? I think so. There are
it'll explain everything. That's all I'm saying.
It would, honestly. I believe so. Now that I believe.
What were we talking about? Films with kindred spirits. That's right.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Yeah, no, totally. Cuz I think it's fun too, because you'd have to really think about it, and it's one of those things where I almost wish that more people would prefer that than to just straight up sequels,
especially since most of them suck. You know, direct sequels,
because so many films are just lightning in a bottle, where it's like it was those actors, that writing at that place and at that time. You know, it could only exist in that moment in time. Like
the first Ghostbusters, you know, you named it perfectly well. I mean, the first Ghostbusters, like, it had that kind of je ne sais quoi about it.
Je ne sais quoi.
And
that,
yeah.
Oh my God.
But like
We had to bring that back, did we?
When the second one came out, albeit I found it entertaining, it was like I felt like it rehashed a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, it's the same.
From the first one. So I was like, and that's the only way that you're gonna like kind of make it good is rehashing it, you know. So I think that, you know, and also you get original ideas out of like spiritual sequels as well.
But
You
I
get to do
think
your own shit.
that's the same thing with Men in Black. Like Men in Black could only exist in that time with those actors, you know.
Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith and
at their height, you know, with that kind of, you know, the rap, you know, here come the Men in Black.
Men in Black.
You know,
Nod your head.
and like both are basically these weird. They have weird dry humor.
Mhm.
And they're about these fantastical things, but ultimately, like, the real story is about a regular 9-to-5 job. Like, at the end of the day, Ghostbusters is just about a startup exterminator company, and at the end of the day, Men in Black is just a police procedural. but except in this one, they just throw ghosts at it, and in the other one, they throw aliens at it.
And also, like, there's like a reference of like, oh, this again, like when Ray in Ghostbusters, he was just like, you know, oh, look at this, we got another free repeater, just like pissed off that, you know, they got another dimensional thing going on, and then
that's where the humor comes from.
Yeah, and then Men in Black, they're like, you know, wait a minute, they're gonna stop the world, and then Rip Torn was like, yeah, it sucks, just like it happens.
What you gonna do?
You know, so I get what you mean.
So yeah, that's one of the things I've seen. I have two more. I've started Archer season 11.
What
Sorry.
the fuck? Yeah, it's been on a while.
Yeah, Archer season 11. Archer, I love Archer. Archer's really funny. I don't know if you guys watch Archer, but you should. I think you guys would like it because they're all very mean. His mother is voiced by
Jessica Walter,
which she oh god, she brings it. Yeah, I guess so. Archer season 11. And then the last thing I'm watching is sure to get Alexis a little too excited. With the tragic news that we have received on this day that Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance,
The Dark Crystal,
as a white man with your privilege, to attack a minority
oh my
over
god,
their
you're
accent,
pulling that card.
I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it.
To
To attack me over my accent is
what
simply disgusting, and you will hear from HR. You will hear from them.
I can't wait for our editor to splice together those comments you just said with just a few months ago, you criticizing me and Moreno for attacking Kyle for his accent. Or his supposed accent.
We'll fire the editor. So...
There only has ever been one editor the entire time. Well, that's not true. There's been 3 editors, but there's only been one down to one at this point.
There's only been 2 consistent, which has
consistently.
been,
Yeah. Peter did some part-time editing.
Yeah, editing stuff out, more like.
When it's necessary, it's necessary. Okay. So yes, the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance has been canceled, and it only good shows ends so quickly, I guess. I really love the show. It was just such a labor of love, and I thought it was so awesome. And I'm really sad to see that it went this way. But at least that first season still exists. It's out there. You can still watch it. And if you want a new way to support the Jim Henson Company, I started watching it just on a whim. And I actually quite enjoy it. I think it's really cute and funny. And it is the Disney Plus show Earth to Ned. and it is from the Jim Henson Company. It is a late night talk show host by this is where Alexis gets excited, an alien.
Oh my god.
And it's like a puppet alien, and it takes place in their spaceship, and there's all these little alien creatures running around, and he was in the whole gist of it is that he was a alien sent to destroy Earth, but instead he decided to start a talk show host, and through his talk show host he tries to understand humanity.
That's an amazing concept.
Yeah. And it's pretty funny. And as someone I can tell you who got maybe 5 minutes into the Muppets Disney Plus show before having to shut it off out of just disgust, because I think it's terrible. I don't like it.
The new one, The Muppets Now?
Yeah. I just not for me at all. This definitely filled that Muppets hole where I'm like, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe Disney, maybe it is you. Maybe you do fucking ruin everything. Because the Jim Henson Company on their own, was able to make what I would consider Muppet magic with this talk show host. And it's
Isn't
really
it amazing how many intellectual properties they have at their disposal, and yet 99% of them they can't even execute properly?
Yeah. And only a small portion of them they attempt to execute at all. The rest go back into the Disney vault forever.
Or Disney Plus, which is not even the Disney vault, because a lot of the stuff is not even on Disney Plus yet.
Yeah. But
Talk
so
about
yeah,
a hole.
that was that's the last thing I saw, and I thought
That's interesting. What was the show called again?
Earth to Ned.
Earth to Ned.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's worth checking out.
Oh, Forky Asks a Question also won an Emmy, which I was an avid viewer of, and I very much enjoyed. So
I know there was one episode of Forky Asks a Question where it seemed like they got every famous actor or actress like over 90 or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was one episode. I can't remember which one. But I was just looking at the credits. I was like, wow, you're alive? You're alive?
Betty White, I think, was on one of them. Betty White. And then I think Carl Reiner, who passed away earlier this year.
Yeah. So that was nice. That was cool, I thought, in that kind of way. So yeah, Kyle, what have you been consuming? Consumer?
Well, just by
don't think, just consume.
By secondhand watching, I've been watching Schitts Creek here and there.
He's been telling me he's been watching. His mom binge watched Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I've seen an episode here and there.
Your mom.
My mom.
In quotation marks.
I'm doing air quotes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. At least I admitted to watching it on my own, Kyle. Come on now.
What's the shame in it? It's an amazing show.
When I watch it on my own, I'll fess up to watching it on my own. Thank you very much. In terms of like actually sitting down and watching shit, I haven't done much of that this year. I don't know what it could be. It could be me distraught over the one thing that I was looking forward to this year being consistently pushed back.
No, they released Mulan.
No, shut up. So there's that. But no, I've been just like collecting vinyl, listening to music, and
which vinyls?
Ooh,
all of them.
Put your music taste to the test, shall we?
Okay, so I've got 3 Foo Fighter records. One is their latest one, Concrete and Gold. I got Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the greatest hits. It's awesome. I got an Elvis record. I got the Beatles. It's pretty much like an anthology of like their works over the years, which is also pretty cool.
We said your records, not your grandpa's.
No, these are my records that I bought. Let me see. What else do I have? I have what's it called? I have David Bowie, Nothing Has Changed. It's pretty much like his collection, his version of the greatest hits. Like he personally selected them.
Which he thought were the greatest hits.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. Let me see. I got Nirvana. I got a Nirvana record. I got Boxcar Racer. I don't know if you've heard of them. But the Boxcar Racer is a offspring of Blink-182. And it's pretty good. It's Tom DeLonge's own work. I like it. It's really good. Of course, me being a Guardians of the Galaxy nut and the soundtrack, I had to get Volume 1 and 2 on vinyl. Mr. Blue Sky on vinyl is fucking killer. I love it.
One of the best songs ever made, Mr. Blue Sky.
I got Misfits. It's just called Misfits. I
know what Misfits is. Okay.
Well, it's because you don't know music.
Just because I'm not wearing eyeliner doesn't mean I don't know what Misfits is.
Let me see what else. Oh, I got Elton John's Diamonds.
Oh my god.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I got I don't know if you heard about this artist, Peter. Her name is Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. Oh god, I tried to do
What accent was that?
Were you trying to do Irish?
I tried to do Irish and came out sounding Indian. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Billy Irish. I can't do accents. I'm sorry.
When we fall asleep, where do we go?
I prefer Scottish.
It's a beautiful. It's like color yellow, and it's so good.
The sound is yellow.
The sound is yellow, and it all yellow. I need to get a Coldplay one. That reminds me.
Oh god.
Coldplay. I got Lord's Pure Heroin. It's really. I am Lord. Yeah. South Park. Also, I got Adele's 21. God damn, that woman sounds timeless.
You didn't get 25?
No, it's 24.
Oh, she's not at 25 yet. Okay.
I'm pretty sure she passed 25, but she's yet to release. It just depends on what year, what age she is. When, anyway, what else? What else do I have? Oh, I got Lady Gaga's The Fame. Good stuff. It has all her early stuff in it, and it's really good. You didn't
get Chromatica yet?
Chromatica, not yet. I haven't pushed 911 on that shit yet. So 911. That's a track off of Chromatica. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't listened.
If you're a real Lady Gaga fan, if you're a real monster,
I'm not. Apparently, I'm not.
I got Sinatra. I got some Sinatra. I got Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. It's just a good jazz album. Great jazz album. I got Rolling Stones, Hot Rocks, Some Girls, and more. Like I have a lot of records. It's really good. Oh, Grease, the first 13 James Bond themes.
So those were the records. Judges?
And so many more.
Trash.
That's it?
4 out of 10. B for effort.
Okay. What makes it 4 out of 10 and not a 0 out of 10?
You had the luck of the Eilish.
Oh, Billie Eilish? You like Billie Eilish? I thought you didn't like her stuff.
She's smart. I like that.
She is smart. She wrote like that whole entire album was made in her bedroom. I think that's freaking metal.
Speaking of being smart, Peter, how do you feel your thoughts on Cardi B have aged?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like, didn't she say something very negative about Cardi B when she was first like coming on the scene?
Yeah, absolutely.
She represented the worst of something.
Probably society.
And yet she ended up being a big socialist, Bernie bro,
Yeah. I don't know. People change.
Wow. Okay. Is that it,
okay.
Kyle?
This is the thing. When she first popped on the scene, she didn't get famous for her music. She got famous for being on a reality show, Love and Hip Hop.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. And where all you do is just... her whole shtick was just being loud and saying as, crazy shit as you could come to your head, And then that kind of pushed her music career. And then people, like so much of my life where it's people come out, say or do crazy shit, and then people kind of laugh and then make them a celebrity because of that. That's what happened. Or president. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. By the way, that's why I was so pissed off at you and everyone else when
we've
everyone
had this discussion.
Yeah, I know.
I think we've
I will die mad.
This.
I will die mad. Okay. I was so pissed off when everyone was just like, oh, that Trump, he's so crazy. And I'm like, no, it's fucking serious. Remember, who's that fucking girl on Dr. Phil? Catch Me Outside. How about that?
Oh, bad baby.
And then she became famous for being a shit kid that got on Dr. Phil.
Speaking of which,
saying crazy shit.
Speaking of which, reality shit. After 20 seasons, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is ending.
There's another one, right? But my whole thing is like,
when's the sequel getting greenlit with Kanye?
Ooh, I'll watch that. But yeah, like
Easy with Easy.
They should do that show. I think it would be very, very popular.
He would do some crazy shit and say some crazy shit that would get it canceled like 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
He really would. But yeah, so especially at that time, I was just like, that kind of shit pissed me off. But like, since then, using her fame and money and power, she's been pushing a lot of great things. And you can tell she actually thinks about the shit that she pushes for, which is great. So it's like, yeah, okay, she's awesome. It's sort of like when Kim Kardashian was like, oh, I'm going to try and become a lawyer. And people were shitting on her. And it's like, I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian, but if she wants to become a lawyer, like, cool, like, go for it. It's tough. I don't know if you'll be able to do it, but if you, like, I don't know why I would put you down for trying to do that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like, I remember, like, the main thing that she did on her platform was, like, Bernie and I, we have different nails, but that doesn't mean, we see eye to eye on on social issues, and I thought that was really smart, using something like that, to that vein,
Well, yeah, because I heard some of her interviews with Bernie, and then she even did one with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And she didn't come off dumb at all. Like she had very specific questions, and she had a pretty good understanding of what it is politically she would like to see happen, which is more than I think most people in this country. So yeah, I don't know. The world keeps moving. I don't know what to tell you. Alexis, stop avoiding it. What did you watch? Oh no, wait, Kyle. Was that it? Just music?
Yeah, I've just been collecting music and listening to music. Oh, I listened last night in its entirety to Dua Lipa. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Mm-hmm.
Her album Future Nostalgia. Like, I thought, like, oh, it's another one of those, top 50, artists, that are in the billboards and all that stuff. And I was like, but then I was like listening to it and I'm like, dude, there's like complex beats that haven't been done since like the disco days, and I was like actually really digging the shit she was throwing down. So
for being a music snob, you sure do like popular music.
Okay, when it harkens back to like different eras, that's when I'm like, okay, like freaking Billie Eilish's record that she did, it throws it back to like garage tech, because she just did it in her room. I think that is awesome, and her lyrics are deep and everything like that, and it's really dark too. I mean, so.
I hate mainstream movies. Oh, me? My favorite director? Christopher Nolan. Why'd you ask?
There's so much I could say, but I won't. I just won't. To what you said, Peter, not what Kyle said. To be clear about that, because that was, fuck Nolan. So yeah, I watched the Emmys telecast.
I thought we decided that doesn't count.
Well, I mean, differences of opinion, I guess.
Oh my God.
I mean, really. The Emmys was actually a broadcast I hadn't viewed in a couple of years. And mainly because that was just almost relatively useless to me, because there was just nothing that caught my interest. And then overall, the Emmys are kind of a worse production than the Oscars. And, when the Oscars are bad, they can be pretty bad. But in truth, I hadn't seen an Emmys telecast in several years. But I wanted to see this one because I was very fucking curious how the fuck they were going to do it. Because obviously we're in the age of COVID, and we've seen other, industries adapt to how to do live broadcasts and presentations with it. So I was mostly curious to see how it would look like, because we knew that, I think we talked about it on the show, that the Academy, the Film Academy, was going to be watching closely to see if they're going to be able to, they're going to base how successful or not this model was, if they were going to do their own broadcast in the spring.
I already got a little bit of like what it would be like, because I watched, in passing, mind you, the American Country Music Awards.
They had that recently?
They had that recently, yeah. I just watched it because Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani were playing.
Well, I know they had the Video Music Awards, and they had that big performance with Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. How do they do that with the performers? I guess they were all in different locations.
The VMA?
Yeah, they were all tested, and everything like that, and they wore
They're
masks.
the rich. They have 15-second tests.
Yeah. They're like, oh, look, yeah, so that's how they're able to get it done. But yeah, I mean, and then also with the Country Music Awards, like they would have, like one artist will be in a auditorium of their hometown or something like that, and they'll be there with no audience and all that stuff, and they'd play there. Taylor Swift was actually on the CMAs. I was actually surprised. I'm like, wow, she's going back country. But okay. And then and they would have, I don't know if you know the ins and outs of the whole thing, but they would have the award, like a representative with the award outside in the announcement that they would win. And they would hand the award once they announce that you're on and you're going on, and they would hand you the award. And that's how they did it with the Emmys as well.
Yeah. They had literally people outside their homes like stalkers in these freakishly gruesome hazmat suits with Emmys in case they won. But for many people, they didn't win. They were just like, they waved bye. I think it was Rami Youssef who shared on Twitter that their person was like, bye. And then they just walk away with the Emmy. It was so close.
How fucked up is that?
I think that's funnier, to be honest.
Oh my God, because it was so close. You know, it could have been right there. And then nope, they drive away with your
Emmy.
So
far. They're like, bye, Emmy.
Honestly, I gotta say, I was very impressed with the telecast. I had very low expectations, and I was expecting a big fuck up because this has never been attempted before, at least on their part. And to be quite frank, I don't think their previous presentations, the Emmys in particular, have been all that impressive. Jimmy Kimmel, I think, is a great host. I'm not fond of his comedy. It doesn't really land as much for me, but it didn't land any less than any other year, I guess, with Jimmy Kimmel. It's the same stuff. I never really get a laugh out of it. I guess I was just more, I was just really enraptured in it and trying to like, all right, this is interesting. This is working-ish to an extent. I could see this being pulled off. I think in some ways, and I may sound crazy, the show felt, I don't know, less long. It felt kind of more international in a way, with it more personable, you know, going to people's homes. The one thing I think that was sacrificed was with no live audience, you can't do a monologue and land all that well. He did have clips of past Emmy shows. And I think so when the telecast opened and you see Jimmy Kimmel walk on stage, he walks out to an empty auditorium, but they show clips of, you know, past audiences, you know, from, you know, past award shows. And I mean, I think you can catch on pretty quickly that was a joke. But yeah. Now, overall though, I kind of loved this better than any other way, except for the comedy, of course.
Comedy is subjective,
it's
I guess.
Pretty darn funny how all these like millionaire comedians who have like these talk shows and sell out all this and that, household names, you take away their audience and they fucking flounder. Like they don't know how to tell jokes without an audience. Yeah. You can tell it so bad. Like all these late night show hosts.
Except John Oliver, because he doesn't really rely on the monologue.
Yeah, John Oliver has actually done it the best out of all of them. But like it's especially at the beginning of quarantine, you saw the shows they would try to do, and it was like bad, like 2000, I don't know, 13 YouTube shit. Like and it's like I'm subscribed to YouTube channels that are so much funnier than this without an audience.
But they also have the quality. There's so many great YouTube channels that have like the amazing camera and effects and they have the resolution. These network shows could not compare at all.
It was like
TikTok stars and celebrities.
Fucking 480p, you know, shit jokes designed exclusively for an audience where they'd say it and there'd be like a pause. And then they'd keep going. And it's like, you know, you're in your house alone. Why are you pausing? But it's just so drilled into them. Like, it's so funny to me. That's what's so interesting. I agree with you. Like, that watching the adaptation is what's so interesting.
Like, how is it that, like, I don't know. It's so funny that, like, TikTok stars and celebrities, like, they're, like, infinitely more funnier than actual professional, quote-unquote, professional comedians.
Well, I mean, I don't know about TikTok stars. From what I've heard, they're all Chinese infiltrators into this country, so.
Oh, my God.
Or throwing house parties in LA and getting their water shut off for it.
Good.
But nevertheless, yeah, it's really interesting. Is the Oscars even gonna happen?
It better happen.
I feel there's a better chance of it happening now. I think overall the industry was impressed that there weren't any major fuck-ups with the presentation, considering what was at stake, and it had all those Zoom calls in. I think an added advantage, at least what I preferred with this setting, is as far as the acceptance speeches are concerned, they were better. I think in some way, you didn't have the audience laughing or cheering on. They interrupted. They kind of drag on these speeches, and they weren't played off either, which I think oftentimes can rub people the wrong way, and it's never a good look when you're played off. Remember when Parasite was played off at the end?
Those
after
bitches.
winning Best Picture. So like you don't have any of those fuck ups getting in the way, and because like Regina King or like Mark Ruffalo gave some amazing speeches just from their couch, and they were so empowering, and I think better in that format than they would be in a live audience. So
because they're also comfortable, and there's no like massive audience there to like make you feel like, oh, so it's like us right now. We're in our homes and we're looking at a camera, but it doesn't feel like we're looking at a camera, so we just say whatever we want,
and it's like it lessens the formality of it all.
Yeah
I think
I am Lord.
Also, you don't have to worry about where you're gonna freaking dress like,
some of
like
them
not
dress
trip
nice.
on anything,
yeah,
and stuff like that.
poor Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, she had a good laugh about that. But no, I think overall it was a success. It was fun. And as far as the winners are concerned, they weren't really surprising. Succession.
We don't have to get into the winners.
Well, I think we should. Succession had a couple of big wins. You claim to like the show very much, Peter.
It's a good show.
I hear great things about it. Everyone loved Watchmen, and so did the Emmys, apparently. It swept almost for the limited series program.
I really liked Watchmen.
Yeah. And of course, like the thing that I was happy about,
Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian. Yes, the Mandalorian. It won 7 Emmys. Can you believe that? 7 Emmys, Mandalorian.
Why? Well, I saw that it won for like score, and the score is good.
I agree with. I think the score is great. There were some I think deserved. I think almost all of them were deserved. Like, it had production design, cinematography, visual effects, score, sound design, sound mixing.
Like, it was all technical.
Whoever fucking designed that CG circle thing deserves 5 Emmys.
Yeah.
By the way, I heard, I don't know if it was another show or a movie had said that they were going to utilize that technology. Maybe it was like Taika's Star Wars or another show.
I thought it was Marvel. Is it
Marvel?
a Marvel show?
Maybe it was a Marvel show that said it, but that they were going to...
Well, I mean, if they're going to do a Tron show...
I'm telling you.
Or maybe even a Tron movie.
They said they were going for the movie. So, I don't know. But
I'd much rather there be a Tron movie than a show, to be honest.
Have you seen the Tron show?
If not, you can hear our review on To the Table, Tron Uprising, which, if I'm being honest, I loved that a lot more than either of the films.
It's a good show.
It's a good show.
So
I think it was nominated, and I think it did win an Emmy when it was on, because it was good. It was like a really, really good show.
You win an Emmy, and then your show's over.
Literally. That kind of seems to happen.
You see the Netflix board saying "Mission accomplished."
We did it, guys. All right, cancel it.
Yeah, that continues to be a theme. Like, Netflix gets so many nominations every year for both the Emmys and the Oscars, but they keep getting shut out of like the big wins. They have yet to win anything for like at the Emmys for best drama or best comedy or best picture at the Oscars. And I can't feel like, those rumors you hear about an anti-Netflix like bias out there by those respective academies has to have some kind of truth. Ozark only won 1 Emmy out of like 17 plus nominations. That's also a show I think you watch, Peter.
Better Call Saul. What the fuck?
Has never won an Emmy.
Not
I think it was
one.
4 or 5 years. Better Call Saul, and neither has BoJack Horseman, which just finished its 6-season run on Netflix as well. Lost to Rick and Morty, which I mean, hey, Rick and Morty, it's great. So
BoJack was better. I guess if you go along with the theme of the show, the fact that it didn't win is somewhat on point, fitting. But Better Call Saul, it had like over 100 nominations or something like that.
Yeah, a lot. They've had a lot of nominations.
And no wins. What the fuck?
It had even less nominations this year because I don't even think, what's his name? Bob Odenkirk was nominated this year for Best Actor.
They just kind of gave up.
Yeah. Although they did nominate Giancarlo Esposito for both Mandalorian and for Better Call Saul.
He does nothing in The Mandalorian. What the fuck?
He gives a monologue. He holds up the Darksaber. They if they like you, they like you. You know how bullshit these people are. You know,
he must be fun at parties.
Double nominee. But you know, the irony here is about the point about Netflix. In reality, they did win big because Schitt's Creek wouldn't have won as big if it weren't for Netflix. Because from what I heard from a lot of the web streams from Gold Derby is that Schitt's Creek really blew up this year because it dropped on Netflix, especially among the Emmy voter branch. Yeah. And it had all those nominations. And if it weren't for it, Schitt's Creek, because it aired on the former TV Guide network, which rebranded as Pop TV, which I don't think anyone knows they have or watches, for 6 years. And before this telecast, they had won nothing. They had won I'm not even sure they were nominated for much of anything. And then all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere and it practically wins every single category. Like that was a historic sweep. All of the actors, Annie Murphy, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, Dan Levy. Dan Levy won for acting, writing, and directing comedy. And of course the series
and then comedy series one.
Yeah. Like that's a major sweep. And I have to say, like,
holy shit.
Yeah, holy shit. No, I said months ago at this point when I watched Schitt's Creek how in love with that I was, and I think you guys could tell from all the gifts that I was sending.
Annoyingly so.
No.
Something must have, I don't know. I just find it interesting how both of you found your way to watching bits and pieces here and there of Schitt's Creek.
Because it was on Netflix.
Yeah. And it was, and it's good.
The one thing I could take away from like its prominence in pop culture right now is like I love the message that it has for like for the LGBTQ community and everything like that, and I love the message and everything like that. I mean I saw a couple of episodes that the episode that I think was like highly praised was when a certain character came out to their parents, and I think that was huge, and I think that's a huge episode to have. The cast is wonderful. Eugene and Dan, like I was like, Dan Levy, is he Eugene Levy's son? And the dead giveaway was not just because his name was Levy, but the eyebrows. No, the eyebrows. The eyebrows got me. I was like that's definitely Eugene Levy's eyebrows. But like it's a charming show. The cast and everything. Oh my God, Catherine O'Hara. Like, what the hell? Like, I could see why you gravitate towards her, because you both have a flair for the dramatics.
It's kind of like, to me, it's a similar attraction to a Lucille Bluth or a Cersei Lannister, although in this case Moira Rose is like a legitimately much better person as a character than those other horrible people were.
Are you trying to say you're a spicy menopausal woman at heart?
I mean, perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I mean, I love those characters. No, but Moira was great. But, the thing about this show and what was so, I think, important for me, And I think why it's kind of resonating with so many people, it's comfort food. It's kind of like that thing you want right now to make you, it's that feel-good show in a very dark and depressing year. And I said this to you, the comedy is one of those, I feel like where, you know, a sitcom anyway, where this, like the characters grow and develop as they go along, at least the lead characters. And it's just, you know, it's just so happy for them personally. I think this is Catherine O'Hara's first like competitive, or her first Emmy for acting.
It's so funny. In her speech, she was gonna thank the Academy Awards, and like she caught herself because she was saying, "I would like to thank the," like she was trying to say Academy, but then she was like, and then she switched it to like, I don't know, Academy of the Emmys or something like that.
Some people say TV Academy when they accept their Emmy.
No, that was just a funny moment, though, I noticed when looking at her acceptance speech.
It was so on character for her, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would
for Moira Rose.
She pretty much played herself in the show.
Oh my God. It's crazy. And I'm just happy for both, you know, her and Eugene. They're veteran actors, and they hadn't like gotten this much praise since like the 80s.
Also, what's her name? Annie Murphy? Like she,
oh my God,
like
yes.
she was like 2 years retired.
She quit.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden she was just like, I'm going to just do this one. And then boom, she got it.
It was so big for her. Some people were thinking as the ceremony was going along, because I mean, it looked obviously like it was going to be a big night for Schitt's Creek, but there were some people that were thinking, "Oh God, I hope Annie Murphy isn't the only one that doesn't get an Emmy, and the other cast, you know, what would it look like if she were the only one that didn't win her category?" Especially since they all had like a watch party, and they went, you know, to
I was gonna ask about that, because they showed all the nominees, and they were all clearly in different places, and some of the nominees were just sitting, you know, on their couch at home, but with them they had this extravagant like so fucking extravagant, like with the tables and the chair. Like at first I had assumed like, oh, I guess they just had them in the audience there. Like I thought like that they were at the place where the Emmys were taking place, because it's this extravagant thing. They're all dressed up really nice. There's multiple tables, and I thought the camera just happened to be at them at their table. But then they showed the other nominees, and I'm like, oh, wait, like did they do this for themselves? Like what's going on here?
That's very much a Rose family thing.
I mean, I guess if you're going to like speculate on it, perhaps they could have informed the Schitt's Creek people, hey, you might want to throw a little something for yourself. I think it's going to be a very good night for you, you know?
We're going to dump it all on you guys, maybe. So get ready.
Or, I mean, the official word is they did have that particular venue was only for the Schitt's Creek production and everybody, and obviously I guess they were able to do that because they're in Canada, and they're like a lot better than we are with coronavirus, because you know the show is Canadian, so I guess but they had their masks on, so
yeah.
You know.
But I just thought that was
it was funny.
It was funny. It's like going to like a party and you're dressed in a suit and tie, and everyone's just wearing like a t-shirt and jeans, and it's like, oh, I thought it was
I know.
Hey, I thought it was formal.
That's very on character, you know, on character with the Roses, because they went to a small town and all that stuff, dressed, you know, lavishly and everything like that. So,
but I guess I feel like if you're one of the other shows where you're just at home with the hazmat suit, you know, with the thing, and then there's these other people with their extravagant you know, seating and all this, and they're just winning award after award after award, and everyone else is just like, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Why am I on this call? And there were some throughout the night. There were some actors that were like, "Fuck this shit." The one that I felt bad for the most was when they got to best, I think, supporting actress drama. Helena Bonham Carter stayed up to 4 a.m. because she's in, London.
Oh man.
And she didn't win her category for The Crown.
That sucks. But it's okay because the Mandalorian won a shit ton of awards.
No, but look, I mean, I was just so happy for Schitt's Creek, and you know what? It was look, not to to steal Zendaya's word for it.
Yeah.
But
dude, like she was so happy. I honestly was happy for her.
I was happy for her. I mean, that was a great moment. But Euphoria was exactly the word that I was in. I mean, wow, win after win after win for Schitts. I was just so.
And I hear that show is really good too.
Euphoria.
Yeah. My sister Erica, she's all over that shit.
Oh yeah, because it's like it's like that. It very much is the fucking Gen Z, like high school show. Like I don't know what you would consider like that kind of show in the past.
Maybe something new of this generation.
No. But there has been shows where it's like, fuck, what was that old show from the 90s?
Saved by the Bell.
No, not Saved by the Bell. I'm thinking more risque.
Boy Meets World. I'm kidding.
Boy Meets World. Fuck.
Full House.
No.
Are we all children? Have we not watched any show that's over TV 14 rating? God damn it! I'm trying to think.
This ain't Riverdale.
90210.
Oh, that one.
Do you remember that? That was like but that was like in the 90s,
right?
Where
Gossip
it's like
Girl.
Where it's like that teenage show where
like Gossip Girl, Gilmore Girls,
risque
kind of thing.
shit. Probably not.
Not Gilmore Girls.
Not Gilmore Girls.
Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, Pretty Little Liars. Probably like that. But it's on HBO, obviously, so it's drug use and all
There's
that.
More shit involved and
sex.
Like
I think Zendaya was the youngest person to win.
She's the youngest person to win an Emmy, I think.
And that's good news for Dune. They bet Zendaya was already big, but her star is rising. And they can promote her, which they did in the trailer, which we'll discuss for. But
she's thriving post Disney Channel, and I like it.
Oh yeah, but I think in many cases they do, because there's a weird thing going on with Disney and their stars, and we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, no, but like she hasn't mentally cracked or anything like that, and all that stuff. So I think
cool.
that's
I like her.
Yeah, she's Zendaya, kind of thing, and I like it. I like it. She's thriving. I love it.
A lot of people of color did win last night, so I was very appreciative of that, and I was actually very moved.
I didn't catch that last part.
Yeah.
I assume angry. Hello?
He
died.
He's so frozen, he started to sing Let It Go.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I was very appreciative to see something.
We had to cut him off because we don't condone that sort of language on this show. Oh, go ahead. He's back.
I am? All right. I was going to say that I was very appreciative of a lot of, representation at the Emmys, and that I was very moved by Tyler Perry's award that he was given for being a self-made black man in Hollywood.
That's cool.
Okay. On with trailers?
Well, we got some stuff before we get to the trailers. We'll get to them pretty soon. Yeah. Although, fine. Let's go to the trailers then. Let's talk about Dune.
Dune.
Dune! Arrakis. Home of the spice melange. So we were going to talk about the trailer last week, but Alexis specifically made sure that didn't happen. So
I'll make sure to drop the text messages I share with Peter afterward that confirm that Peter Martinez was also completely forgetting the fact that we didn't talk about Dune. So I'll be attaching those to the post of this podcast.
And let it be known that Alexis J. Soto is a snake and a blabbermouth. Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
This is great. It's good. That's a good trailer. Oh boy, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't want to get into specifics necessarily, but everything looks really, really good. Knowing the story, I know there's a lot of things that we haven't been shown, but like the little things that we have seen, in my mind, it's just like, yes. When I read the book, it's like, yes, this is it. I love it.
Like, this is the Dune you've been wanting.
Yeah. And I saw some people point this out, it's a little color palette drab. And to me, Dune was always, even though it was like obviously desert planet, it was a little more bright, more yellowish in my head. But like, that's it.
Like the way Ridley Scott directed The Martian.
Yeah, or like some Mad Max shit. I in my mind, the colors always popped a bit more, but everything else is just, I just need to see it. I need to see it yesterday.
It's a Denis Villeneuve film. It's gonna be grayscale. You know that.
That's true.
I mean, if you look at Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, Prisoners, it's a very particular palette of color.
Blade Runner popped though.
They're
in places. Okay.
Like San Francisco and
yeah, San Francisco. Which, you know, in real life, that's what it looks like today.
Oh God, is it sad that I would prefer the Blade Runner future?
A world with replicants. But yeah, it looked gorgeous. I mean, Peter was absolutely right when it was like it didn't show a lot. By the way, halfway through the audiobook.
Are you
Peter.
Now? Okay.
Interesting.
I am, because I've been trying to get more familiar with Dune before I go see it. So yeah.
Everything shown isn't even halfway through the book.
Yeah, but this is a good template of showing you what kind of, you know, film this is going to be, what kind of adaptation it is, what kind, you know, it just gives you a flavor of the world of Dune, and I think that is utterly fantastic. I think, and like the cast is freaking great. Everybody looks freaking awesome in there, except for Stellan Skarsgård. He looks, but that's the way he's supposed to look.
Whoa! You fat shaming?
No, it's just the way that he's supposed to look, all like gray and just like all that stuff. Scary. Look scary.
So you just have an issue with his skin
color. My God, no. Stop. But like it's just like,
don't make it so
really
easy.
Good.
Okay, keep going.
It looked really good. Like this whole thing, yeah, it's really good.
The star power is,
oh my God, it is off the charts is what this is. I think I love Denis Villeneuve as a filmmaker. I think Nolan's got nothing on him, if I'm being real right now with you.
I want Denis Villeneuve to do a Bond film.
Battle of the Bombs.
Who's doing the score to Dune?
I
don't know. It could be Hans Zimmer.
It
probably is
It's
Hans
probably
Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer. He's
anyway.
apparently the only one that works in Hollywood.
He really works, though. I think this trailer was perfect. Because it really not only flaunted the size of its cast,
Sorry,
but
it is Hans Zimmer.
I mean, just the sheer star power of it. And from the interactions to the couple lines of dialogue, from because the whole thing was being narrated by that sequence with Timothée Chalamet's character and then whoever that woman witch person was about, his father and what's to come on Arrakis and
that's literally the first couple pages.
Right, the impending doom that's supposed to happen. I'm all in on this movie. I was just on the concept, but when you added this filmmaker onto it, and then when we saw all those stars attached to it, this trailer just tells you, maybe more so than most trailers, more so than I think even Matt Reeves, and I think he is going to do a home run when it comes to the Batman. You know this movie is in the best possible hands it could be with Denis Villeneuve.
I think this really is something special.
Yeah.
It really is just sort of a once a generation type thing. I think it can be, because the cast is just pitch perfect. Like, it is firing on all cylinders. You have, Hans Zimmer, biggest composer arguably of this generation, working in movies, and Denis Villeneuve, who seems literally incapable of not making a less than amazing film. And it's given the time, the budget, all the money to be able to actually do it correctly.
The star
Can we say it real
power.
quick? I was just so grateful that Warner Brothers hired him, because there were people out there that were saying, why would you give Denis Villeneuve a budget like this after the failure that was Blade Runner 2049? And fuck those people, because that was a great movie. And it was so disappointing when that movie made no money. But the fact that he's able to keep getting these big movies is hopeful, in a way.
Well, fuck. I'm gonna jinx it. I don't care. I'll knock on wood right here. This movie does hinge his entire career, though, because either it's a failure, in which case he will never be trusted with a big budget ever again.
From a creative standpoint, you mean just from a pure financial standpoint?
From a pure financial standpoint, he will never be trusted with a big budget again. Or it's a hit, in which case, every idiot with a YouTube channel would be like, who should do this remake? Denis Villeneuve.
So you're saying it would be like what Jaws was for Spielberg?
Yeah, it's a make or break career move. Like, either he gets to make whatever he wants for the rest of his career, or he doesn't have what. I mean, well, at least not in big budget films. He'll still be able to get smaller films made.
Mm-hmm. And that sucks, because I want to wish fulfillment. I want to see him do Bond.
I feel like everyone you want to do Bond is a good director, but just doesn't fit Bond.
I disagree. I think Nolan can do a good Bond movie.
Can do Bond. He basically did, I guess, with Tenet. But
we'll never know.
We'll never know. I'm not watching that shit. But I think Nolan would be perfect for Bond. But Villeneuve, I don't.
Well, the way that Villeneuve is, I mean, I equate him as his work with something like what Sam Mendes did with
1917
with with Skyfall and Spectre and all that stuff, and I'm pretty sure that he'll give like the same flavor that that's been bestowed upon with that generation, and I think that would be a perfect way to segue into what Denny has to offer.
Okay, when I say this, you can't get offended because I said the exact same thing when Star Wars came up. With him directing a Star Wars. I just think he's above the material.
I think a better and maybe nicer way of saying it, Peter, would be it would be hard to see Denis Villeneuve being interested in Bond or Star Wars.
But I love Star Wars, but even then I'm like he's just not the right fit for Star Wars. I don't think he can do anything with Star Wars.
He's too good for that shit.
It's just not his
cup of
thing.
tea.
It's not the thing he makes. And I think it's the same with Bond. Like if you look at all of Denis Villeneuve's movies, they are like basically all character pieces at their heart. And Dune works because Dune is this very political type film that focuses very much on one character, the main character,
Paul
Atreides.
Yeah.
So I think it works to his sensibilities, but unless you're having a Bond film where like 70% of the film is this character study, I just don't think it works. Because at that point, it's not even a Bond film.
Okay.
But you could do something interesting, though. I mean, you look at... Oh, sorry. Go on. Sorry.
No. Continue.
Sorry, Alexis.
I wanted to get off this Bond discussion because, I mean, this is Dune. We can have this for another day. We're not going to get around it. I mean, the whole character thing or whatever. The point is this. To Peter's point about how important this movie is for Denis Villeneuve. Before there was a pandemic, I was very concerned about how this movie would perform because pure science fiction blockbusters like these are so punished for just existing by the common box office audience, it seems like, for better or for worse, oftentimes for worse. And I hate that, but that seems to be the case more than often. What was promising was that Warner Brothers was pushing this hard, which meant that they recognized, what they had to just, spend as much money as they could on it. Post coronavirus, I became even more concerned because, oh God, I don't fuck it up. Please don't fuck it up. And the closer and closer, because we're now in September, end of September, the release date is supposed to be mid-December for Dune. And this ties in with Wonder Woman being pushed again from October to Christmas Day. And the Hollywood Reporter was saying that Warner Brothers at the moment, let me be real here with you, I can't believe that they're thinking this because it's just so stupid. But the Hollywood Reporter is saying that WB told them that they believe that they can release both Dune and Wonder Woman at the same time, with them being the only movies available for theaters, and do gangbusters. And I could think of no worser fate for Dune if that ends up being true. Because, I mean, you know what's going to happen. If anyone's going to go, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Wonder Woman, duh. And then no one's going to go anyway because there's a pandemic going on. We haven't seen the revenue at the weekly box office.
Yeah, Tenet might have sealed a lot of movie theaters' fates. Because they had to open up, and then Tenet made $0 fucking dollars. And now they have to remain opened up. And they're just going to be bleeding and bleeding until December if the movies don't get pulled. This is just bad all around. I'm really worried for Dune. It was already the little movie that could before this, but now it's like...
In the best of circumstances, it was the little movie that could.
but now please just kick it to next December. I would say kick it as far away as you can because it needs to make money, and it won't make money. It just won't. Although a part of me would feel good if Dune was the thing that saved cinema and not Tenet. But I'd also rather just people not die, so kick that shit back.
I hope they do, and I would think so, because it just seems like it's a no-brainer. The studios don't release two of their biggest films within a week span of each other for like the same reason that BVS didn't come out the same day as Civil War. You take money from each other. You'd lose money.
A lot of things seemed obvious in all this, but we also know that's not how it went down.
No. Anything else for Dune before we move on to No Time to Die?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
very much so.
Great trailer. I wish it all the best. I can't wait to see it when this pandemic is over. Because I also don't think they're going to go the PVOD route, because that's been proven not that well for Warner Brothers either. So I don't think that's on the table as well. If anyone was asking if they would do like streaming, that's not
hell
happen.
no, that's not going to happen.
No, because that's a lot of money you're just setting on fire. All right, so No Time to Die got a new trailer recently from a few weeks back, because supposedly they're still on for November, and to be clear, what Peter was just referencing, every other major studio has pulled their movies. So there are no new movies coming out until seemingly Bond and Beyond. I mean, sorry, not Bond and Beyond. That's a podcast. Seemingly Bond 25, No Time to Die. So Kyle, talk about your feelings on the new trailer. I will say, for me, as someone who's not a Bond enthusiast, but likes the films, at least the James Bond, the Daniel Craig era films, I think it looks really good. And it's giving off this sense that they're going to close off this chapter with a bang. I love the cast. I love how it really showed off, Leah Seydoux and Lashana Lynch and Ana de Armas in particular. It may be the most women featured in a Bond trailer maybe ever, so I took note of that. The action looks great. The score sounds terrific. And I can't wait to be entertained if and when we get this movie. So I thought it was a very good trailer.
I agree. I thought it was like, yeah, this is a James Bond movie, and it looks like a good one to boot. I don't know if we mentioned this, but I had bought a poster for this film back in 2004, and it just arrived a few months ago. So that's good. I hope it's on a wall already.
The post office has been bad in the pandemic.
It's Etsy. I'm not blaming it on the post office. That shit was on Etsy.
And it did come from London, so there is that.
London, England. Oi. They say oi over there, right? Oi.
Oi. I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't know. I'm not British. Although I would love to be.
Oi.
But this fucking trailer just, goddamn, it makes me sad that I haven't seen this movie already. I mean, in a perfect world, we would have already seen this movie. But alas, the times, we are living in the wrong dimension, it seems like. God, just everything looks so good, from the Ken Adams inspired sets to the action set pieces, to Daniel Craig giving like a really stark line that was a great trailer moment. If we don't do this, there will be nothing left to save. God damn, that's such a good freaking hero line. I love it. There's just different things. It looks gorgeous. I think what Cary Fukunaga is doing is just phenomenal, and I can't wait for this movie. I hear word that the Italian version of this trailer gives out a major spoiler, which is the full name of Rami Malek's character, which more than confirms my theories.
He's Blofeld
about this movie, that he is that he is Blofeld.
Well, I think we should spoilers real quick. The real twist, because we've talked about it, we all know, is that he is actually the grandson of Palpatine.
Yeah,
and I thought
that was a bold move. Actually,
I thought that was a bold move. I thought that was fantastic writing to pull that twist out in the last act. I can't wait.
And then you see in the middle of the movie, he does the lightning fingers.
Yeah. Palpatine fucks.
Yeah, who knew? Who would have thunk it? Especially in his deformed, decrepit state.
Well, that's why Rami Malek wears the mask. The genes of the Palpatine genes.
Yeah, because that just fucked him over, and he's just
also wear a mask.
Yeah, wear a mask. That's the lesson of
That's the lesson. Yeah.
That's the lesson of the movie. Wear a mask. But yeah, this. Oh God.
By the way, I find the title so ironic. This is No Time to Die. In the middle of a global pandemic.
I hope they say the line, like a very Bondian kind of thing. Just say the line in the movie, because yeah, I hope they say the line in the movie.
Well, this is so important for you, Kyle, because you said you've been waiting for this movie for 5 years now.
Yeah, since after I saw Spectre, and I was under the notion during these 5 years that Spectre was the final go around for not just Daniel Craig, but probably the series. And I thought it ended on a good note, if that be the case, because I much contrast to a lot of people's opinions on Spectre. I really liked Spectre. And him riding off into the metaphorical British sunset with Madeline Swan and the Aston Martin, the trademark James Bond car. I thought that was a perfect end for Bond, and I thought that would, if that was the final, but if Carrie manages to push that times 10 and give it a bigger ending, I can't wait. I'm sad that he didn't get it already.
But yeah. I wish it, all the best of luck if it is going to go ahead and rough it out, it seems, in November. I do feel, though, that if the closer and closer we get to November, I half expect this to be pushed back even further, because Tenet has made $250 million worldwide, but that's about it. It may get to 300 million, but that's kind of crumbs for what it would have made. We all know that James Bond makes most of its money overseas.
Mm-hmm. And overseas is doing a lot better than here in the...
That's the number I just pointed out. That 250 million is overseas. Here, you're not even making 100 million and anything.
Yeah.
So I half expect the movie to be pushed back. But overall, it just seems like from an institutional standpoint, the film is going to be, it looks like a wonderful finale to this era. It helps that Daniel Craig is in a better mood than he was when he was filming Spectre. I think you can tell just on the trailer. He's happier, and he's, I'm sure he was thrilled by what he saw in the script and everything. There's fresh blood working on this film, not just from the director's standpoint, but also from, the conceptual standards of the script in a way. So the trailer of this movie reminded me of why I love movies and why I go to see movies. And so, like with Dune, I would love to see this movie in a theater. Mm-hmm. And I kind of hope it does get pushed, because I don't want to see James Bond be destroyed, because I just don't think any movie is going to be successful from a financial standpoint until coronavirus is killed.
Yeah. Ditto. I'm looking forward to it. But again, you don't need me to tell you that. I look forward to a lot of Bond stuff. Speaking of Bond, today, the guy who played Hugo Drax died. The villain in Moonraker. So rest in peace. Also, Diana Rigg died quite recently.
Rest in peace,
as well.
Diana Rigg.
Right. Diana Rigg.
Let's get through these as fast as we can. We have a lot to get through still. WandaVision, yay or nay?
Nay. I need to see more. I need to see at least the first episode before I say yay. Because I've been disappointed by Marvel before. It's definitely interesting, and there's a lot of interesting takes. But again, where they're putting it is very discerning. Which is Disney Plus. So that is a flag for concern of mine, and I need to see the first episode before I put my chips down.
Peter?
Okay, so the same worry I have now is the same worry I've had a lot since the beginning with the show. Because when they announced what it was and they showed concept art, I immediately knew what it was, and I knew what sort of comics they were trying to go for and referencing. And after seeing the trailer, it's like, yeah, that's what I expected. If it goes one way, it could be really cool. If it goes another way, I won't care. My worry... How many episodes is this supposed to be? Wait, first off.
6 or 8.
6 or 8, okay. My worry is that all the cool shit, which is the, 19 television, weird, trippy shit, mind fuck up stuff, my worry is, that's over in, the first 2 episodes. And then the rest of the series is, boring, real-world shit. That's a big, big worry of mine.
Yeah.
I want 90% of the show to be the weird shit. If it is that, then I'm all in. But if it's the first couple episodes, we did it, guys, and then they just go back to just being regular, boring superhero shit, then what a fucking waste. I don't care. That's where I am.
You see,
and the trailers look like it leans to both ways.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Look, I have been very pessimistic on every Marvel Studios show coming to Disney Plus. I think for obvious reasons. I didn't see the first WandaVision teaser from months back that they had, but I did catch this one on live television. I liked that trailer.
It's a good trailer.
I liked just about everything that I saw. And it actually got me interested in watching at least the first few episodes to see what it's like. But what you just said, Peter, you might have just hit the, what was it called?
Nail on the head.
Yeah. Nail on the head. That ultimately is going to be what, in our eyes, and I'm sure in a lot of other people's eyes, what this show lives or dies on. Because I agree with you. If the show, I want the show to be 90% of the kooky wackiness that I saw in that trailer. If it's the other way around, I can just watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's the same shit, or a Marvel movie, right? Being real here.
Yeah.
And I worry because the material that we saw is so good. And I'm excited to see more of Wanda Maximoff and more of, Vision. However, we do know this. We know that it's in some way it is going to tie in directly to the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange movie. Number one. Number two, from the trailer and from photos that have been released, it is going to feature the organization's sword.
Yeah.
And that gets me really concerned. Okay, what show is this really? Because I feel like those two are kind of fighting with each other.
Not only that, the little girl from Captain America is in the show.
Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Monica Rambeau's daughter? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the name. Yeah, I'm so worried. I'm so worried that they sell the show and all the cool shit. And then the cool shit is like, honestly, even if it's 50% of the show, I'll be pissed off. I want it to be the majority of the show. I don't, because like the real world stuff, I can kind of guess what the real world stuff is already. And while
I should have mentioned, well, because what's her name? Elizabeth Olsen herself is going to be in the movie Doctor Strange, right? So
yes,
she's the bridge between the show and the movie.
But I think ultimately the show's probably doing its own thing, and then the script for Doctor Strange will have to work its way around it, so to speak. Yeah, I just want it to be the majority of the show. But I've been tricked before, and specifically by Marvel, where it's like, oh no, it's gonna be this kind of film. It's gonna be different and unique. Oh god. And then I go and it's like, it was different and unique for like 2 seconds, and then it was typical Marvel shit.
Like that's what Far From Home did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it was so fucking cool when Mysterio was doing Mysterio shit, but then
that's when I woke up. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was well, to be fair, we did watch it at the brisk of midnight.
Yeah.
So but yeah, like when weird comic book shit happens like that, like Dormammu have come to bargain. That's the most interesting
remember when they sold Doctor Strange? They're like, oh, these trippy visuals. It's so crazy. It's so, you've never seen anything. Oh my god, it's the craziest thing you've ever seen. And they had one sequence, where they went trippy, and then that was it. And then the rest was basically a typical Marvel movie. So it's like, you gotta do this shit the entire time. Mm-hmm. You can't do like, okay guys, we had our minute of creativity. Let's pat ourselves on the back and then go back to the formula. Like, no.
Back to formula.
And talk about a film with personality. I just really, really hope. And again, the weird kooky stuff that I saw, I thought was really cool. I dug it. I really did. Especially if you get into the psyches of either Wanda or Vision. And, there's some good character stuff going on at the same time. If you have both of that, that's awesome. I'm all there. Just don't make it. My biggest fear is whatever is going on, it like ends after
episode 1
or episode 2, and then the rest of the show is just mostly dealing with the fallout or whatever. I don't know. I just don't.
What if it ends halfway through? Because if it's like 6 or 6 or 8, if it ends at the end or in the midway point of episode 5.
Well, like I said, even if it's 50%, I'd feel pissed off because I think the majority of the show needs to be this.
Because like WandaVision and everything like that, and plus like the vibe of like the old school, retro shit, like it really worked. In WandaVision, it sounds like an old television program, so I don't know.
But Peter's right.
I've been yeah.
Peter's right though.
Go on.
Because they keep doing this. Marvel Studios keeps doing this. Like this, they keep stumbling onto great concepts somewhere in their movies, but they spend like 5 minutes and then they just, rest of the movie is back to typical Earth shit, and it becomes, your Saturday morning of the week. Like, what happened with Ant-Man and the Wasp. You had the quantum realm concept. That could have been the movie, and make it somewhat interesting, but it wasn't.
Road trip throughout the quantum realm. I think that would have been a much better movie.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
There's so
that
much
yawn.
There's so much interesting shit you can do with shrinking and enlarging, and that concept. And Ant-Man and the Wasp is so fucking boring. I do not like that film. And yeah, Marvel keeps doing this. It's like, wow, cool idea. Do it for 2 seconds and then move on. This is the first Marvel thing, though, we've gotten since the change, we'll call it, for from going from phase 3 to what is supposed to be the new era of Marvel. So this is
note.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to finish your thought?
Similar to the way Mulan was like the last gasp of me giving a fuck of live action Disney remakes, this is kind of the last gasp for me to give a fuck about all the MCU
about
shit.
phase 4. Yeah.
So
from what I've been hearing is Falcon and the Winter Soldier was delayed to next year, more so because of spoiler / tie-in for the Black Widow movie, which has yet to come out.
Oh.
So
you mean how fucking what's her name is the new Black Widow?
Florence
her
Pugh?
little sister, even though she never had a family before.
I think it had more to do with Thunderbolt Ross, because apparently he's on both of those, both the show and the Black Widow movie.
Well, yeah, he'll introduce the new Black Widow.
Yeah, or something like that. What about She-Hulk? Tatiana Maslany was cast.
I don't know who she is. Everyone seemed excited, so I will mirror their excitement.
Orphan Black. I haven't seen it, but I hear... Didn't she win an Emmy for that show?
Yeah,
maybe.
Multiple Emmys, I think. Her and Mark Ruffalo look like they could be related, so there's that. I hear she does like deep, intricate, like well thought out acting pieces and all that stuff. I don't know how that relates to She-Hulk. But nevertheless, I don't know.
All right, let's move on to something we can't talk about. Mandalorian Season 2 trailer dropped. Surprise, surprise. That was a good trailer.
It was a trailer.
It was good. It's pretty.
They were on a boat.
It had all the favorites. It had Mando, Baby Yoda, the child as he's known. What's her name? Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano. Yeah. Yeah. And Carl Weathers. And Stormtroopers. And explosions.
Oh, they had the guards, fucking those pig things.
Uh-huh.
And they're fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
They could have just designed a new cool creature to fight each other. But the thing is,
why would you do that?
Why would you do that when we already know the pig creatures? It's that thing, like from your childhood. So we're gonna show it to you again, and we're gonna go back to Tatooine. Like, oh, you sent that picture. Where, what was it like? The fucking
Tusken Raider.
Yeah. on the bantha or whatever. And I was just like, kill me.
Okay, before we get to that stuff,
yeah,
thoughts on the trailer and how it was.
It was a good trailer. Disney makes really, really good trailers. They always have. It was a good trailer.
Indeed, it was definitely a good trailer.
Indubitably.
All right, I guess we can go back to ranting about Tatooine.
Fuck Tatooine.
it's so disheartened to me, like the direction that they were going, and fucking Filoni, I know it's him, that they're doing all this fan service bullshit and everything like that. Like, I love Ahsoka Tano and all that stuff. Like, she's one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. I don't need her to be in fucking Mandalorian. I don't need Sabine Wren to be in Mandalorian. I was interested. The thing that got me interested in the first season was the fact that, we think that this is some badass bounty hunter and everything like that, but no, it's actually about an adoptive father harboring in his newfound child, and I think that was amazing. I thought that was an amazing concept. We haven't seen that before in this degree, so I think that was amazing. That's what got me hooked, line, and sinker. And now all of a sudden, season 2 comes in. We're throwing every Tusken Raiders, Tatooine, Boba Fett, and everything like that. Tamara Morrison, Ahsoka, and all that stuff, and fan service, and the episode I hated the most in season 1 was the Tatooine episode.
Oh, that episode was terrible.
It was absolute garbage.
It
and
was
also,
no less than any of the other ones for me.
Whatever. By the way, Amy Sedaris deserved a better episode than that bullshit.
Taika Waititi directed the hell out of that episode, and so did Deborah Chow. Whichever one that she got. But, yeah.
But I think God, I'm gonna actually stand by the Phantom Menace in this regard, but in a different perspective. That I think Kathleen Kennedy and the creative heads that she hires needs to go, because all they could think of is creative bankrupt shit.
The Phantom Menace loves The Mandalorian.
You're saying that Dave Filoni needs to be removed from The Mandalorian?
Well, see, this is the thing. I heard you disparage Dave Filoni earlier, and it's really actually not his fault. What a lot of people don't know, luckily the scooper herself, Miss Grace Randolph, has already leaked this. But the reason why he's always wearing his cowboy hat is because there's actually a mouse under there controlling his every movement. And controlling the future of Star Wars.
Metaphor heard, Peter. Are you sure it's all Disney?
What do you mean it's all Disney?
It's all Disney that's making them have the creative, bankrupt shit by,
That was a Ratatouille joke.
Oh, I thought you were saying, because mouse. I don't think... when you say mouse, it's Mickey Mouse, not rat.
But I said a mouse underneath the hat controlling him. That's Ratatouille.
But you say mouse, not rat.
Okay, fine.
They're different animals,
But it is obviously a team effort. It is Jon Favreau, it is Dave Filoni, it is whatever other creative people they got in their ear at the time. I'll just say the same thing I've been saying from the beginning. This is a type of Star Wars that a lot of people really seem to love, and it's just not the Star Wars I give a shit about. And it seems like season 2 is going to make me give even less of a shit. So, here's to WandaVision.
Yeah, sure. I want to bring forward Favreau and Filoni's comments on the upcoming season and see, in case people are listening that are confused about what we're complaining about. So I have the quote here. The new season is about introducing a larger story in the world, says Favreau, who notes the show will expand beyond Mando-centric tales. The stories become less isolated, yet each episode has its own flavor. And hopefully, we're bringing a lot more scope to the show. Adds Filoni, everything gets bigger. The stakes get higher, but also the personal story between the child and the Mandalorian develops in a way I think people will enjoy. Entertainment Weekly continues, this is them interjecting. And while the first season's episodes very strictly focused on Mando, season 2 adds new storytelling angles. And then this continues into the quote. As we introduce other characters, there are opportunities to follow different storylines, Favreau says. The world was really captivated by Game of Thrones and how that evolved as the characters followed different storylines. That's very appealing to me as an audience member.
I just hate everything that he just said. This show was never designed to be a Game of Thrones. Your writing is not nearly good enough to do a Game of Thrones. This is very much a fun, light, bounty hunter and son, go on adventures type show. But they wanted everything. Every time they want to expand the world, all they do is make it smaller by bringing in all the old fucking characters that we've seen a million times, and then make the central issue all about the Jedi again. Because that's what's gonna happen. It's going back to the Jedi. Every time you think you've escaped a Jedi story in Star Wars, tricks on you, because there's a secret Jedi somewhere. Like fucking Solo. Oh, it turned out that these marauders were actually the rebellion, and you need join the rebellion, Han Solo. Oh, look, there's Darth Maul with his lightsaber. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, just
and that's
stop.
why, like, I was on board with Mandalorian like 90%, with the exception of the 5th episode. But like when Moff Gideon brought out the freaking Darksaber, I wanted to throw my TV out the freaking window.
Really?
Yeah,
that's when you know, like, it's done. Like, because this
I thought you would have loved that.
No, I'm tired of seeing fucking lightsabers in Star Wars.
Wow.
Because now this next season, there's gonna be a badass action sequence between Moff Gideon and Ahsoka.
Or Bo-Katan, who's Katie Sackhoff is coming back.
And then what's
Bo-Katan.
gonna happen is Bo-Katan. It's literally gonna be the Clone War. It's literally gonna be the continuation of the Clone Wars, because you're gonna have the clones there. You're gonna have fucking Ahsoka there, and they're gonna be talking about the Empire and the Jedi and the continuation of that. And then
who we're not talking about? Mando.
Oh, no, it's okay, because Mando is going to go and hang out with Bo-Katan, and they're going to talk about, for the 100th time in, like, the span of 20 years, building up Mandalore again, and bringing back Mandalore. And then that, again, literally everything we fucking seen from Rebels to Clone Wars. And everything Dave Filoni touches, it's about rebuilding Mandalore. Stop fucking destroying Mandalore, Dave Filoni. Leave that poor civilization alone. It's the same shit, and it's the same
He has a
stories
Mandalore fetish
repeating themselves. And it's just like, stop. You had the opportunity to tell something new and unique, and you're just incapable of doing it, and I don't know why. But the trailer was good.
But you were addressing something earlier. We will say that there has been talk that there were behind-the-scenes problems with...
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to actually go into that?
Sure.
Okay. A lot of people dislike Grace Randolph. Understandable to an extent. But she's not wrong. Like, 9 out of 10 times I've seen her, like, predict some shit, it's been fairly accurate. So, saying that, what she's heard from her
and that
sources,
gets her head bigger.
well, it's all in her hair. Bigger hair.
Yeah.
What she heard from her sources was that Pedro Pascal was pretty pissed because he wanted more scenes without the helmet. And I guess the head creatives running the Mandalorian show said no. Basically pushed back on giving him more scenes without the helmet. And I guess it got so bad that he bypassed them and went straight to Lucasfilm and tried to get, more scenes without his helmet, basically actually having to act. And I guess that led allegedly, according to Grace Randolph's sources, he leaves the show halfway through the season, and he's basically quit. He's basically quit the show, and I think so. The first half will have him, and then the second half will be other characters.
Just to update a little bit on that, is from what she said is that situation had been resolved, and so there could have been a reconciliation with Pedro Pascal and the people, but the filming had already happened, and the season was kind of wrapped by the time that happened.
Okay, I don't remember that part, but yeah, that's apparently what she had claimed.
And if that is the case, that would kind of create a reason for why all of a sudden the show switches gears. Because in that Entertainment Weekly article, they confirmed that, and what Favreau and Filoni said is halfway through the season, there's a massive shift, and we kind of leave Mando and we focus on other characters.
You get an Ahsoka episode, and you get a Boba Fett episode, and you get a Bo-Katan episode. Oh, what's her name?
Sabine.
Maybe Sabine, but the one that's actually on the show, the new character, what's her name?
Cara Dune?
Yeah, I could see her getting her own episode. So, yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't care. So,
how do we feel if the season is what it is? Do you think it'll be still lauded? Yeah. 100%.
Oh my gosh, Ahsoka! That was easily the best lightsaber battle in since the original trilogy. The way she flipped over and then the darksaber, it was so cool. Did you see when Boba Fett and the Mandalore had a 1-to-1 fight? And, back and forth, it was so cool. Oh, to see the clones in live action, my heart, my childhood. Oh, God, this is amazing. Thank you, dear God, Filoni. You are truly a god among men. Please let me get on my knees and suck your dick. Oh, my gosh. That's going to be the reaction to the season.
Well, we won't have to wait long. It is supposedly coming out October 30th. So,
yay.
I would assume at least we will tune in for the first episode, and we'll come back with thoughts on that. Along with WandaVision, which is supposedly coming Thanksgiving or early December. So we'll keep tabs on that. I want to close with Mulan's performance on Disney Plus, because we had been asking that question for weeks now, how good or not it was going to do. So that'll be the last story. So let me do this update, and then we can go home. We good with that, kids? All right. So the update for box office. Tenet only made $4.7 million in the U.S. this last weekend. Yay. It has made $36 million in the U.S. or domestic, and $250 million worldwide.
It's the numbers it deserves.
Perhaps. Meanwhile, Mulan, theatrically, not including Disney Plus, only debuted in China in its first week with $24 million. It plummeted 72% in its second weekend to only make $6 million. And overall, when all the money's been counted in places that Mulan has been in theaters, it has only made $57 million.
That's bad.
That's not great. And so what did it do on Disney Plus? Well, again, we don't have the official numbers. There is speculation that the next time Bob Chapek or Bob Iger go on the what's it called? The investors
the quarterly call.
When I think it's October or something. Maybe Kyle will listen for us. He usually does listen to those. There's speculation that they're going to drop the actual data on how Mulan did there. But the closest thing we have to that is from this analytics firm called Seven Park Data. There was a misleading headline a few days ago that it made 290 million something in like the first week. That was false. That's not what happened. So this is their closest guess of what happened. So apparently 10% of Disney Plus subscribers in that 8-day period that Mulan debuted, and to be clear, active subscribers, not 10% of all 60 million Disney Plus subscribers, but only 10% of those that were active
rented Mulan.
Paid the $30 to acquire Mulan. So they break that down to 3 different categories depending on the official number. So if 20 million people did the $30, it would have made $62 million. If 25 million paid the $30, it would have been 77 million. And if the most, which is what they think is 30 million US subscribers, paid the $30, its overall max would have been $93 million for the first 8 days. However, Peter did shout out Grace Randolph. Her inside sources have said from Disney that to date, in 3 weeks, Mulan has only made $90 million on Disney Plus.
Not good.
Very reflective.
The VOD experiment has failed.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
I think what killed a lot of the momentum, well, not a lot, but just a little bit, is pre-announcing that the movie would be available in December anyway.
Which Disney did themselves. Why would they do that?
Yeah, like say that no, this is it. This is Mulan. I think that would entice more people.
Also, $30 is a lot.
And apparently no one likes the movie anyway.
Yeah, and it's not good either.
So it's like it did horribly in China. And if you add the 90 million that is reportedly what they did on Disney Plus with the 57 million that it did from theaters, the overall total for Mulan approximately on these numbers that we have, which aren't official, I want to stress, would be 150 million.
And it's not going to get much higher.
It's a disaster. And so when it comes to this Premier Access experiment, from what has been rumbling is that, all right, so perhaps the next movie to go on Premier Access won't be a Black Widow, but it'll be Soul, which is a smaller film from a financial standpoint. What do you guys think of Soul doing the Premier Access thing on Disney Plus?
That's the most likely one.
Which freaking sucks, because I'd rather see Soul in a theater.
I'd rather see a lot of things in a theater.
But I feel the same way, though. I'm not going to... Soul is kind of like the movie I'm looking forward to the most out of any of the ones we've discussed so far. Because I love Pete Docter's work. It looks amazing. I mean, let's just be real. It looks fucking fantastic. It also looks just so appropriate for the times that we're living in right now to have a film talk about your fucking soul after you die. Hey, global pandemic.
But hey, right now, there's no time to die.
Oh my gosh. You had to put that in there.
Put what in there?
I would like to see Soul as soon as possible, but I would be disappointed if it were just, shunted off to to Disney Plus, which would make it the second Pixar film to have that kind of treatment. At least this one would have a premiere access. Onward was just, no, it's there. Take it if you want.
To be fair, no one really liked that one.
I liked it.
That's nice.
But yeah. We had said that we didn't know beforehand if this would be horrific, middling, or outstanding. That was 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you, question. Are you surprised by these numbers? Are they overwhelming, underwhelming for you? I mean, they're underwhelming in general, but like, are you surprised?
I wouldn't say it's over or under. I would just say that it's whelming.
You're whelmed.
I'm just whelmed. Just like, it's like opening up the fridge and it's saying, you know, do not open, dead pigeon inside, and you open it and then, you know, there's an actual dead pigeon inside, you know. Didn't know what I expected.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, you don't know how well it would do either way, but the fact that it didn't do well isn't surprising in the least.
Yeah. And so now we're left with the PVOD, as you say, Peter, was a failure. And obviously right now, releasing a movie theatrically is doing nothing for you. So when are we getting movies again? We're not.
We're not. That's the answer.
But we have TV. And so we'll have that.
For now.
But yeah. I will say there's a part of me that is happy because, you know, not that I wanted to see the film overall lose. I mean, I didn't like the movie at all. And the drama around it with the concentration camp is disgusting. But I guess what we've seen from the initial returns of the international box office mixed with the middling results of PVOD, the hunger remains for theatrical experiences. And now isn't the time for it, and it seems most people get that, but it kind of has filled me with some kind of hope that when we overcome coronavirus in whatever way, shape, or form that has, the theatrical experience will return.
Like James Bond will return. At the end of every credit sequence, it says James Bond will return. Like theaters, one of these days.
Or the pandemic just never ends.
And we die.
So that was our show, guys.
Yep, that was our show. Thank you all for listening so much. I want to thank Peter for being here as well as Kyle. I thought we had a really interesting conversation. It's been a while since the three of us had talked a whole bunch of trailers like this, like if it were normal times or something. But I had fun, and I hope you guys had fun listening to it too. I want to remind you that we are wrapping up our Legend of Korra series with the final episode. We have upcoming content for spooky season, as they call it, with Dr. Sleep and the Shining audio commentaries. We have shows planned for both seasons of the Haunting series from Mr. Mike Flanagan on Netflix. The Fantasy Fair is going to have a month-long Halloween series of specials. And To the Table as well will be coming back for Halloween with a ghost theme.
We're keeping the spirit alive.
We're keeping any spirit alive, it seems like. So thank you all so much for listening to our show. Keep it here under our red spotlight every Sunday and sometimes on Thursdays. You can catch the Fantasy Fair on Fridays or Mondays. And, thank you all so much. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.